Anthony Joshua will be facing Francis Ngannou on March 8th in Saudi Arabia, and Anthony has reacted to the fact that Mike Tyson is training Francis. Many people are questioning Francis Ngannou as a legitimate opponent, but Eddie Hearn thinks that they have to see him as a real threat. Eddie stated, "You can't say that a guy that dropped Fury and in many eyes beat him is not credible as an opponent. I said to Lennox that one of the big reasons we're taking that fight is because we've been told by His Excellency that the winner of that fight fights the winner of Fury Usyk, so we get a straight shot at undisputed. So if Fury beats Usyk, which I hope he does, and we beat Ngannou, you've got self-made the biggest fight arguably in the history of the sport. You know that if Fury beats Usyk and AJ beats Ngannou, the whole world is going to go, oh my god, it's AJ Fury for undisputed. So yes, there are rematch clauses and contracts have got to be respected, but also, you know the vision of His Excellency. He's going to want to deliver for fans worldwide the biggest fight in our generation, and it will be right on a plate in front of him. But Fury's got to beat Usyk first, and AJ has got to beat Ngannou. And as we saw with Wilder against Parker, things can happen. Francis Ngannou's definitely taking the fight seriously, but he sees himself coming out victorious. Francis stated, "Never say never. Nothing is impossible. We don't know the strength of Anthony Joshua. Even though I don't believe he has that strength, we're going to find out. In 2 months, we're going to find out. I'm going to be the one taking his soul." Francis Ngannou sees this fight ending in a knockout as well.
If I land a punch, a knockout will happen. It's hard to say like the one that I landed because I didn't really land on Tyson Fury. You know, I think it was a punch that hit his shoulder and then slide up of his head, so it wasn't a clean shot.
Eric Nixick definitely thinks that Francis will be able to find those knockout shots against Anthony Joshua. Eric stated, "I feel like Anthony's going to be there more often. He's more of a plot fighter, kind of works well behind his jab, but I feel like we can find him there in the pocket rather than having to chase him down or try to hunt him down. So there's some differences there, but by that style of fight, if he's going to be there in the pocket, Francis will find you." Don Charles sees this being a very physical fight for both men involved, and he stated, "I expect to see a competitive physical fight. Two guys there on the physical aspect, you can't get better than that matchup. I believe it will be a very physical encounter, and obviously, prior to this fight, Ngannou was the unknown when he fought Tyson Fury. I didn't give him any chance. I couldn't see how he could fight Fury and be as successful as he was and push Fury to the wire, so I have to take that back. We know about him now, so Joshua and his team, Ben Davison, they've got more now to look at and go on, footage to study. Joshua is a heavyweight gold medalist and has incredible boxing ability. His fundamentals are intact. They will devise a game plan to be able to box Ngannou, use that superior boxing ability to have success. Daniel Cormier definitely believes that Francis can pull off a massive upset win against Anthony Joshua.
I'm happy for Francis. When good things happen to people that have been through a lot, it really does fill you up. Now, he's got to do what he did last time, but he has to be a little bit more ferocious. Francis needs to be ferocious. He needs to intimidate him with size, and that's where Francis holds advantages. Because while these guys have boxed their whole life, Francis is not throwing his punches from the same ways that they're used to seeing their whole life. Now, on paper, should he win? Yes. He should beat a guy that is 0-1 in his professional boxing career. But as Francis Ngannou has shown time and time again, he don't play by the rules that everybody else play by. I was one of the people that just thought he had no chance against Tyson Fury. I don't know. You asked me this 6 months ago, I'd have said no chance. You asked me today, I think Francis has a chance. And I think Francis is going to get it done.
George Groves doesn't think that it would be acceptable if Francis was able to beat Anthony, and he thinks that Anthony has to win in spectacular fashion. George stated, "Ngannou hasn't been boxing long. How can he defeat an Olympic champion who went on to win multiple world titles? AJ's not past his best. He's not on the way out. He looked flat at the start of last year, but he looked a real force against Otto Wallen. So I hope he puts it on Ngannou and doesn't put safety first. I hope he comes out hungry to make a statement. I think AJ can knock Ngannou out. I think he needs to win and win well. And if he doesn't, we need need to stop caring about the heavyweight division. It would be a farce. It would not happen in any other sport. Darren Seeley has sparred with Francis Ngannou while training, and he believes that he'll have a tough opponent in Anthony Joshua. Darren stated, "It's a tricky one, both extremely powerful, but I feel the last 2-3 fights, especially the last fight in December with Otto Wallen, AJ looked brilliant. Everything was firing on all cylinders, and I do feel that AJ will be victorious on the night. I don't know in terms of round by round or decision, but I do feel he will definitely get the better of Ngannou." Joe Joyce definitely thinks that this is stylistically a great fight for Francis, but he still thinks that it's going to be a pretty even match. Joe stated, "Great fight. I'm looking forward to that. Both can really hit, heavy hitters. I think style-wise, Ngannou is a little bit inexperienced in boxing, and Joshua actually looked better in his last performance than previous ones. It's a pretty 50-50 fight." Conor Benn believes that this fight was very predictable, and he is looking forward to it.
Predictable. It's a great move, great fight. I believe AJ looked unbelievable in his last fight. Looked powerful, looked strong, looked sharp, looked like you just couldn't fault the performance at all. I thought Wallen would have been a harder fight than what it was. Definitely harder than what it was. But AJ just proved that he's still number one. But obviously number one, number two, people differentiate. Fury, AJ, Usyk, but he's up there, top three with him. But I believe AJ. I like Ngannou.